is the breakfast show, and we're talking about the president's state of health. Continuous reactions over exactly what the president's state of health is. Why is it not being revealed to Nigerians? Does the president need to go on another medical leave? Those are all the questions that are out there for Nigerians.
Yeah, and we still have a correspondent in Abuja was talking to us, Taya Modu. We have a guest in the house, but before we go to the guest, let me come to you, Taya Modu. Now, the issue of the health of the president, certainly we have a lawyer who will give us all those explanations, but I was asking earlier on if you have heard any comments, what kind of reaction are Nigerians really putting out there concerning the health of the president from what you have heard?
Yes, the Nigerians are concerned about the health of the president. There's no doubt about that. And like I was building up, the issue of comparisons come to mind. What happened in the past and what is happening now. And the fact that May is a significant date. This was actually the date, May 5th, was actually the day that the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua passed on after months of secrecy about the state of his health. You know, and that obviously creates that type of fear in Nigerians about maybe a repeat of it happening now.
Okay,
like
Ty,
while there
now
are comparisons, there are also distinctions.
Yes, indeed. The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, has said that the president's health status will not affect May 29 plans. Of course, May 29 is Nigeria's Democracy Day. That statement coming from the Information Minister, is it reassuring in any way for people, ordinary Nigerians, especially in Abuja where you are? How are they reacting to this?
You know that apart from the fact that this time around, May 29 is coming around the corner, we should also be expecting a midterm report from this administration. How far have they gone midway into their first tenure, their first term in office, which is why Nigerians are concerned about it. Well, you may say that the president's health may not affect the presentation of the midterm report, but what our Nigerians are actually asking is, has this administration done enough within those 2 years to justify being there, to have the people's confidence? And based on present economic realities, difficulties Nigerians face all over the country, in Abuja also, because Abuja is actually an expensive place to live in, and issues like this, when hardships come on the people, it has made a lot of people lose much of the confidence that they had bringing in this administration. So Nigerians, it's something of cynicism that they have in mind now, that, well, whether the president is ill, whether the president is well, our own mindset is, what has this administration really done to alleviate the sufferings of the people? What have they done to make things better for the people? And if it is scoring this, if it is scorecard, if they are going to consider the scorecard of the administration from the people's perspective, they have not done too well in 2 years.
Oh, okay.
All right, Ty, we'll come back to you on this. Let me take you to my wall so we can have a little, just add a little perspective to what we're doing here, and just to give us a little more understanding. Now, let's get into this proper. Now, since the Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, the country's presidents have had to go abroad for medical treatment without disclosing the ailment they are treating. Now, this is not an exception because it's happened before. Let's get into it. Since his swearing in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari has embarked on 2 medical trips to the United Kingdom. And now, he proceeded on his first medical trip in June 2016, where he spent about 13 days. During that medical vacation, he sought help for persistent ear infection from an ear, nose, and throat specialist. All right, getting along, he went on a second medical vacation in January and was scheduled to return on February the 6th. But a day to his resumption, he requested for an extension of his holiday, following the recommendation of his doctors that he wait for further tests and rest. President Buhari arrived home on March the 10th after spending almost 2 months away on medical leave. And President Buhari handed over power to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in accordance with Section 145, Section 1 of the Constitution as amended on both trips. Let's take a look at other African presidents who have traveled abroad for to seek medical attention here. All right, let's start with Algeria. The octogenarian president, Abdulaziz Bouteflika, is also known for seeking medical treatment in Europe. His health condition has not been made public, but he has suffered stroke several times. And besides him, we also have President Jacob Zuma of South Africa, who has gone on medical trips to Russia several times. Besides that, we also have the Zimbabwean president, Robert Mugabe, who has also the nonagenarian, who has, I think it's about 93 years
Early
now.
90s?
Yeah, so he has also sought medical attention abroad so many times. Now, moving ahead, now Nigeria is not new to the list of leaders who seek medical attention abroad. Still fresh in our minds is the death of former President Musa Yar'Adua in May 2010. Late President Musa Yar'Adua died at age 58 in Abuja. He returned from Saudi Arabia 2 months earlier, where he had been receiving treatment. And that is the right. Let's bring in our guest in here now. He is the chairman of Nigeria Bar Association Ikeja branch, Additional Ogunlano. It's good to have you join us right now. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, morning, madam.
Now, Nigerians are very, I don't know whether I put it in this way, whether it is the history of what we've been through before or something, but Nigerians are not satisfied with the information they're getting, or they get usually about their president anytime he's ill.
Yes, and they're right. I'm a Nigerian, and I share the perspectives for our people. In governance, you need clarity, you need transparency. And when you put somebody in a position, peak position, you expect him to be fit and proper for that position, physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally stable. And you need to be sure that the gentleman or the lady there is actually fulfilling all that level of competence. And if it's not clear, you must be worried. It's your chief servant. Nobody employs a sick person to do a very great job. And the presidency, if ordinary, I won't even say ordinary, any level of governance is quite tasking of your energies. Chairman, even councillor, you are going to do a good job. And that's how you find that those ones who are very responsible and committed, after a little time, their hairs start turning gray and all that, and they look fact out and all that. So it's understandable. And if the informations are not clear to people, and it seems as if it's being managed, then you begin to worry that what's actually happening, more so when you have a president who died on the job.
All right, Additional Ogunlano is a legal practitioner, of course, is our guest this morning. Focus right now is the president's health. Of course, Tai Amodu, our State House correspondent, is there in Abuja, and we're discussing earlier with him. Let's just say thank you very much, Tai Amodu.
Yeah.
Thank you for your insights, of course. Additional Ogunlano is a legal practitioner, is our guest right here in the studio. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari missed his grandson's wedding over the weekend, missed last Friday's Jumat, missed 3 fake meetings, the Federal Executive Council meetings. Are these enough cause for alarm, or are we just...
Well, I think... and to the presidency as a whole, I think the scenarios or examples given are enough. I will not have minded the issue of not attending his grandson's wedding. The burdens of state so much that he might miss that. The gentleman in question was not his son, he's a grandson. It's important, but not all that important that the president must be there. Jumat service.
Yeah, but when you have a BC Akonde, APC former chairman, saying he actually wept, not seeing the president at his grandson's wedding, that it gives it a totally
No,
different
that's
dimension.
BC Akande. That's not me. I'm saying that of the three examples you've given,
Yes,
I'm not mind, that one does not strike me as all that too important. Because like I said, this was not his son, it was his grandson. And so he might not have had the time, given the exigency of state and all those kind of things. But by the time you say he was not attending fake meetings, that's quite serious. And this idea of his working from home suggests strongly that that is not hale and hearty, as the vice president told us just a few months back. And I must say I'm disappointed in Professor Yemi Oshibajo, because that's quite a credible Nigerian. Now, when he said that, why is somebody is hale and hearty? You are saying that's fit as fiddle. And medically speaking, that guy is good, fit to run and all that. But now, by the time the gentleman came, with the physical appearance of the president, and then his own, I think it's a more candid personality. He said, I've never been sick like this before in my life. And that's how you know a person of courage and somebody who is really sincere. But I think his handlers are having a problem. And I think he himself is having a problem. The man that we knew, who is the kind of a person who is as blunt. They say, if he doesn't know it, I don't know it. If I'm sick, I'm sick. But they will now tell you, in diplomacy, in governance, you can't be that stark, you can't be that open and all that. And I don't think it's good.
In all of this, are we going to blame the handlers for all this?
I will blame him. I will blame the buck stops on his table. It's just like even at our local family level, when something happens, it's his wife that is pushing him. And that's really unfair on women. It's you take responsibility. It is his brother that is pushing him. Are you a kid?
Now, speaking of his wife, when Aisha Buhari comes out and says, my husband's health is not as bad as is being perceived, is she just playing it down?
Well, the impression you got from that lady so far is that she's somebody who's really concerned and a patriotic Nigerian, to the extent of telling us, even raising alarm or some other things pertaining to the president. When she comes out, like that's coming from her is a bit more, even a lot more assuring than coming from Lai Mohammed. But nonetheless, the big man, that is the president, wants to be seen, wants to be felt directly, not indirectly through the genius of the vice president and all that. Yes, you understand. You know it's a team, we know. But then assuming that our top man, because the person that Nigerian voted for as president, that's the person they expect to work as president.
Well, it will be good to know what the Constitution actually says about this. The Section 145 of the 1999 Constitution has been quoted as making recommendations as to what should happen in such a situation.
All right, let's make you answer. Let's make you talk to that shortly. Let's bring in Foladele to give us a reaction on social media. I know Nigerians have been talking and reacting a lot about this. Fola, good morning.
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 Yes, they have really been talking, and they've even gone as far as creating a hashtag, which is "Where is Buhari?" Wow. So let's find out what they're saying. Alpha Lish says Nigeria is controlled by Buhari. Buhari is controlled by his doctors. Safe to say his doctors control Nigeria. Hashtag where is Buhari? Agora's blog says, where is Hill and Hearty Buhari? Is he playing hide and seek? See what he did there? Hashtag where is Buhari? Popsy O Tucson says, in quotes, I'm for everybody and for nobody. PMB has served everybody for 2 years and he has started serving nobody for the remaining 2 years. Hashtag where is Buhari? Osan Izeyamu says, have you ever imagined the president of USA ruling from home? And someone replied to that saying, Charlie Boy said, this is Nigeria where anything is possible. Can the US stay 7 days without light like my area here? Niger Delta says, we would not be deceived by the suspension of the SGF. The real question is, where is Buhari? Cancelled FEC meeting, absent at FEC meeting. Mr. AD says, handlers say Buhari's health condition is not drastic and he's working from home, yet he can't walk 30 steps to show up at the FEC meeting. And the last one here from Paddy Atiku, he says, if his health can no longer carry the weight of his office, then let him be truthful to himself. Okay, additional. Yeah, you've seen what everyone has said. I mean,
Yes.
these people have said at least. Now, let me stay on this tweet, which says, if his health can no longer carry the weight of his office, then let him be truthful to himself. How do you think the president could have avoided a hashtag such as "Where is Buhari"? Do you think he needed to have communicated more and been more open with us? Or do you think he needed to have said, look, things are really bad, and let me just officially hand over power? So how do you think he could have handled it?
You've answered my questions, your questions for me, and the people have answered it. If they are satisfied, this is Vox Populi.
Yes.
I mean, it's random. I mean, it's not that maybe they came together as a collective. They're just speaking, and you know, you can feel the people. That is our president is ill and hearty, as claimed. If he's been cured of whatever was his ailment when the last trip, why was he not attended? You know, the office is even located in his home. Everything is in Aso Rock. And like somebody pointed out, 30 steps, even 100 steps. I mean, if your house is there, just like pastors, the mission house is also where the church is. And yet, you can't see the vicar presiding over the church service. And you'll be wondering, say, the Baba is healing and heart, the Holy Spirit is ministering. No, you want to see, I'm sorry, you really want to see the person you know as your pastor. Yeah, of course, you know the Holy Spirit minister, but then you want to see the physical representative.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know the president is working, but you want to see him.
I want to see him.
They don't want to see the Holy Spirit ministering here. But thank you very much. Thank you. All right, TVC Breakfast sought the views of some Nigerians on the controversy surrounding President's health, and let's listen to them.
I don't think it's ideal for him to keep traveling, put into consideration that what he uses is the taxpayers' money to do that. And I think it's best for him or the people in charge to improve our healthcare sector. In as much as he's benefiting from it, the common and poor masses will also benefit. So traveling, I don't think is doing us good. Instead, it's still depleting our reserves.
The first thing is life. Wherever he can get the optimum treatment. If it's abroad, let him go. If it is here, let him stay here. But the most important thing is that let's preserve his life.
To me, I think he should travel. It's of no use him staying. If he dies, it's of no use. If he's alive, it's of no use. For him to protect his own image is very important. So it's better for him to go back and take care of his health. Health before governor or presidential seat election or wherever.
If you look at developed countries, for instance, Canada, the UK, America, you won't hear that their presidents leave their country to go to another country to get medical help or to seek for medical advice. So it's a pointer that there's...
Wow. When you hear comments from people.
Yes, indeed. Now, additional Gulano, this might interest you. Ronald Reagan's colon surgery in 1985 actually was blamed for the poor decisions that he made that led to Iran-Contra. And many of his aides actually said that he didn't even remember some of the decisions he took while he was on sick bed.
Yes.
Is that a pointer to the fact that Nigeria may suffer or may be suffering with the president's present state of health?
Exactly. It's not even speculative. Nigeria is suffering. You remember the earlier year, the first year of this presidency, when he was fully in charge. Well, that's when you start to talk of body language. You know, Buhari has a kind of mystique. He has a mystique, and that's what powered him to victory at the polls. Now, gradually begin to fade away because of ill health. And well, good, he has a very capable vice president, but what the vice president said is quite instructive. Said that he told him, just take decision. It's a trust. You just take decision. You don't even need to consult me. Yes, it's a plus for the vice president, and we thank God that we have such an able vice. But that is actually not the best. Two heads are always better than one. What Yemi Osinbajo as vice president, acting president, would decide to do by himself, assuming that there is an active president who has just decided to consult him, to make him his chief aide. Definitely when you rub minds together, but this now a president who is not in the show. It's like a husband and wife in the home, and then the father is sick.
And it makes you want to ask
and
who is in charge.
Say, mom, just take decision.
All right, let's see from this perspective. Let's go back to the Constitution.
Yes.
Because that is where all powers are derived when it comes to governance. What does the Constitution specify in a situation like this? Is it silent or what?
No, the Constitution is not silent.
Okay.
The section you just mentioned has anticipated all these possibilities. There's a level where, you know, the president is a human being. Call him by any name, pope, whatever, general, whoever. All of us have blood and flesh, and we tend to succumb to ailments. We are not the only owners of this space. Microbes, viruses, they are made by God too. So yes, and they need to exist too. If circumstances allow them to operate in your body, what we call sickness is good health for them. They are thriving. Yes.
How philosophical.
Yes. Now if you succumb, but that's power play in the cosmos. And so this has happened to you now as president. Despite your title, if you have cancer, if you have even sore throat, you have whatever, you cannot operate optimally. So the constitution makers have said, okay, it's possible. If the president becomes sick to a level, well, we cannot say because of that we quickly raise his presidency and force him. But at what level?
That's the question.
That's the question. And that's where the Senate comes in. That's where the Senate comes in. You wait. If the man voluntarily resigns, for example, it could be somebody very open and by himself. Something just came to my mind now. If you watch the last bout between Klitschko and Joshua, by the time the referee stopped the fight, the man was not down, but didn't contest it. When the president said it's over, it's over. The man did not. Some other boxer would say no, but the man, that means he accepted, I've been beaten enough. And like our brother Samuel Johnson, when Klitschko was beaten, around night, he couldn't come out.
So you agree with those who are calling that the president should just quietly hand over power to the vice president? Yet we don't know the level, we don't know how bad it is.
At least now, because of how significant he is, really, he should not just go immediately, but at least hand over again to that to have an acting presidency.
All right. Additional Gunlano, thank you very much for coming on the program this morning. Thank you.